The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
We need to keep it as simple as it can be, but not simpler than that, unfortunately. So this left needs to be smart, it needs to be radical, it needs to be strategic, and it needs to be brave. Now, speaking of this, and this is totally unprompted, totally random transition, didn't plan this at all, just happened.
That was Michael Brooks, people. Michael Brooks passed away yesterday, and I wanted to do a tribute to him because Michael Brooks touched a lot of people's lives, including mine. We've lost 3 individuals who I think people should have known who their names were. Elijah Cummings, John Lewis, a senator, and Michael Brooks. I'm doing a tribute to Michael Brooks because I found out that he died around the time I was doing a tribute to John Lewis. Now, I'm still working on Lewis's tribute. I'm going to do that probably this weekend. His life expanded far beyond, decades. The man has been fighting for equal rights and the black people in this country for a long time. He has a lot of history that I wanted to sift through to bring to you. Michael Brooks was a younger man, though. That doesn't mean that his life didn't impact a lot of people. I often tell this story about how I got involved with my show and politics. Even though I never met Elijah Cummings, I never met John Lewis, I never met Michael Brooks. I haven't met a lot of people that have influenced my life, but I pay attention. And the thing about Brooks' situation is, these are men and women who felt the same way I do about this country and the direction it was going, but they didn't look like me. Let me explain it to you like this. I watched as a truck driver driving across this country, listen to talk radio at night, because when you're a truck driver, you travel all around the states to different locations, and some places you can't pick up radio stations, so you have to listen to social media. You have to listen to certain stations that you wouldn't normally listen to if you was in a city environment. Now, I watched for 8 years, people. I watched for 8 years how we minorities, we black people and minorities, Spanish people, Hispanics also, use social media for dancing, for music, for comedy, for all kinds of entertainment. I watched white supremacists use social media to build up hate in their communities and the white population. There's a stark contrast between the two. People couldn't see what I saw, and it was nobody in social media doing podcasting that looked like me that was fighting back. All of the people that knew what was going on with this racism, inequality, the differences in the races when it comes to policing in our communities, all of these people that were fighting back didn't look like me. So these are the people that touched my life. People like Champ Uger on TYT, Anna Kasparian, David Packman, Dollarmore, Jesse Dollarmore, Sam Cedar, the Majority Report. These were white people who had maybe one or two guests who were Hispanic and black on their shows. But these were white people who knew what was going on, and it was trying to fight back through social media. And when I looked at my people, my skin complexion, I didn't see that. Of course, you have the talking heads that are black on CNN, ABC News. You even got black people on Fox News. But when it comes down to podcasting, when it came down to fighting back on social media, there was nobody that looked like me. That's why I started what I'm doing now. It's because of guys like Michael Brooks. He was funny, he was witty, but he had a certain truth to the things he was saying. Like whenever I watched the Majority Report, they would talk about things that goes on overseas that we don't pay attention to. I'm going to give you an example. The bodies were piling up in Iran. Satellite imagery showed Iran digging mass graves. I knew that the coronavirus was going to be bad because I was watching independent progressive media, people like TYT, the Young Turks, people like Sam Cedar and Michael Brooks on the Majority Report, David Pakman, Jesse Dollamore. I was watching these white men, most of them are white, try to preach to the population that something is coming. And Trump and this bigoted administration is not going to do anything about it. And when I went out and started telling my friends and family members and people, man, ain't nothing finna happen, man. That's just like that Y2K stuff. There's nothing finna happen. But it did. Now we got 140,000 people dead and counting. This is why I'm giving a tribute to Michael Brooks, even though I've never personally met him. The man touched a lot of people's lives. And he wasn't scared. He wasn't scared to challenge even people on the left. I'm finna give you an example of what I mean. Listen to how he gets at Jay-Z in a joking way, but it's serious. Watch this.
Hi, this is Michael Brooks, back here with you. I'm a writer and blogger. You can check out my work at www.theelusiveobvious.com. And I'm about to interview my friend, David Pakman. So great to be with you, David.
It's great. Great studio.
Yeah, this is an amazing place. I'm honored to have the privilege to be here. So you heard my kind of opening spiel, and I have to ask you first of all, any interest in buying a Rockaware Occupy All Streets T-shirt?
No, it's not really my thing.
Okay, all right, yeah, I think definitely Jay-Z miscalculated, but I want to get
now. I played that clip for you because people that are my color, it would have went over your head everything he just said. Not everybody. You got some intelligent black people out here. You got some intelligent Hispanics. What that man just said spoke volumes to me. Some of y'all that love hip hop so much are going to take what he said as this is a white guy that just don't like black music. I'm going to tell you exactly what he just said. Jay-Z is a billionaire. A billionaire. He fights for causes sometimes, but he's a billionaire. Jay-Z went out and made all of these t-shirts, Rockaware t-shirts, Occupy Wall Street, and was trying to sell them to the community. Why? you're a billionaire. Now, I know in some of y'all minds, y'all going to say, well, he's a businessman. He's trying to make money. You're a billionaire. If me personally, if I had to take my income or somebody on the income scale that I'm on and fight for a cause, and I wanted to get a couple of dollars back off of those t-shirts, I can understand that. You are a billionaire. If you're fighting for Black Lives Matter, why are you going to make a whole bunch of Black Lives Matter t-shirts, and instead of pulling up the truck in the neighborhood and just giving them out, giving them out, giving them out? Here, you get one, y'all get one. Come over here and get them, man. You're going to sell them. Are you serious? See, I read between the lines. He cracked a joke with David Pakman by telling David, are you interested in the Rockaware Occupy Wall Street t-shirt? David Pakman said, no, not me. I got it. I got what he said. He basically saying, why in the hell are you a billionaire selling these damn t-shirts? Man, get that stuff out so the message can be spread out. See, that's why I liked it, Michael Brooks, because he wasn't scared to challenge even people on the left. He wasn't scared. And his impersonations of people in politics was spot on. I mean, he was so witty, he can crack jokes on the dime. The only other person I see can crack jokes political wise that I like is Bill Maher. And Michael Brooks could have been another Bill Maher. The guy was funny, but he was educated enough to where he knew what was going on around him and around in society. And he's going to be missed. I'm still going to do my tribute to Senator Lewis. I was working on that when the word came down that Michael Brooks died. And you know, I just want to give you guys that, because you know, you don't see people like this. You don't see people like this. And I'm finna give you a couple of clips of people whose lives he affected. Like Emma Vigeland. She's a good left-wing political analyzer.
As many of you may know by now, one of the best people on the left and one of my dearest friends in the industry passed away yesterday, Michael Brooks. Michael was just hitting the apex of his career. He had just published his book Against the Web. Michael was a completely intellectually honest, open human being, and he was loyal to his friends. He was rightly seen as one of the most important voices on the left, specifically in the realm of international politics. Please go check out his work. The issue of Lula da Silva comes to mind in the political imprisonment of him. Michael was so passionate. He got to meet Lula before he died, and I know how much that meant to him before he died. It's just, I can't believe I'm saying that.
That was Emma Vigeland. She's on TYT, the Young Turks, and she used to make appearances on the Michael Brooks show. You know, when I tell you people that this man affected a lot of people's lives, he did. And like I said, I never met him, but he was one of the few voices that I heard over the airwaves that was fighting back against the hatred that people like Michael Savage, Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones, Sean Hannity. He was one of those few voices that was fighting back against all of this bigotry. This is my girl, Anna Kasparian. I love her to death, man. She's a good person. She's a real good person, and she speaks the truth to power, too.
Michael Brooks has passed away. unexpectedly. For those of you who knew him, I hosted a show with him on Jacobin. He was an incredibly important person in my life. He's been on the Young Turks, and I want to just read you the official statement that's been released by his friends and family members. It's with a very heavy heart that we announce the unexpected passing of Michael Brooks, a son, brother, friend, and true comrade to so many, due to a sudden medical condition. I'm sorry, I can't read through it. It's posted on Twitter.
That pain you hear in her voice, people, that's being felt throughout the progressive left-wing media community right now. Right now, people. That guy right there, like I said, he was funny, but he was in the know. And he gonna call you a racist. He gonna call you a bad politician. He gonna call you out. He was just like that. And he's not gonna play with you and shuck and jive. He might crack a few jokes, but the guy knew what he was talking about. I'm gonna end this. I didn't want to make this too long, this tribute to him, but I'm gonna let him talk about himself a little bit on this last piece, because the guy was he was amazing, and like I said, people like him is what got me into doing my show.
Please join me in welcoming Michael Brooks to Lafayette.
Hi. It's really good to be here. Can everybody hear me without a mic? Yeah. All right. So, I have a pretty unusual background in some ways, which I guess is appropriate for unusual times. My parents were hippies, and they left New York when I was very little. They were totally broke, to be honest, and we sort of fled to Massachusetts in the kind of middle of nowhere, and or felt like the middle of nowhere. It's not actual middle of nowhere, but that's what I thought as a little kid. Like, can I swear? Sure. Like, why the fuck are we leaving New York? This is so boring. And they were very influenced by the counterculture. And I was homeschooled, and it was very self-directed. So I won't get too much into that. I think there's advantages and disadvantages to going that route. But one advantage I did have was I was able to do a lot of reading and a lot of very self-directed reading in any area that interested me.
That was Michael Brooks, people. May he rest in peace.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.